And then she went to Ferguson, Missouri, a couple years after that when Michael Brown was killed. You all remember Hands Up, Don't Shoot. It's hard to believe. August 9th, couple of weeks, it'll be the 10-year anniversary of the Ferguson uprising. And she was fighting for police reform. I mean, we fighting for it still today, but she was fighting for it back then. And I remember she, as the criminal justice committee leader, she was saying, we got to get this legislation passed. And you know, Shishrina and Glenn, her staffers, you know, there was no 9 to 5 with Sheila Jackson Lee. She'll call you at 1 in the morning. I'm working on this legislation. Now, I need to know some facts. And she was fighting to get it passed, and I remember it was her zealous advocacy convincing the Obama administration that we had to allocate millions of dollars for a body cam video because we can't have the police word be the gospel when they kill black people unjustly. She was fearless. And then Reverend Al is right. There was no other congressional member who came to more funerals of people who were killed senselessly by those who were supposed to protect and serve. She came to Breonna Taylor. She came to Tyree Nichols. She came to so many funerals. I expected to see her every time we had a case that if nobody else was going to be there, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee was going to be there standing up for that family. And Breonna Taylor and Pamela Turner and Atiana Jefferson and Sandra Bland, the black women, Alicia Thomas, those who were killed by the police, she was so courageous in saying, we got to say their names as fervent as we say anybody else's name, because she understood, like Malcolm X, that the black woman was the most disrespected, the most neglected, and the most unprotected person in America. And Sheila Jackson Lee said, not on my watch. Not on my watch. And then my Lord, Reverend Al, Derrick Johnson, Reverend Barbara, her homeboy, George Perry Floyd, whose family is here today. Philonis Floyd, Brandon Williams. Would you all please stand? Because she loved the George Floyd family. She fought so hard for the George Floyd family to get justice, to get the George Floyd Justice and Policing Bill passed. Leader Jeffries, I mean, she fought, she kept reintroducing it, Congress after Congress after Congress. And I remember that first time then it didn't pass. And everybody was disappointed because we thought if ever there was a time we were finally going to get police reform in America, it was after George Floyd was tortured to death on that video. And I was a little defeated, and I remember talking to the Congresswoman, and I think, Shishrina, you were on the call. She said, you know, Attorney Crump, I've been bringing the bill for Juneteenth up for 10 years. And we ain't gonna give up on that. She said John Conyers was bringing up the reparations bill for 15 years, and we ain't gonna give up on that. And I don't care if I have to bring up the George Floyd bill for 20 years, we ain't gonna give up on that. That's who Sheila Jackson Lee was. That's who Sheila Jackson Lee was. And so I say to you, all these cases, all these tragedies, litigation that affected marginalized minorities, like the Fearless Fund litigation where they were suing the black women for raising $100 million to help black women start up businesses. She used her legal acumen to advise us on how to fight that battle. And so I say to you, brothers and sisters, she never gave up. She had that Harriet Tubman spirit, that she was just going to keep going back to save us over and over again, risking her life. She didn't care about what they said about Sheila Jackson Lee, because she know who she is and who she is. And that was Sheila Jackson Lee every day, whether in Congress or in the community. Leader Jeffers, you say that you got spontaneously drafted by Congresswoman Lee. I know Congressman Jonathan Jackson said, I don't care who you were a staff member to Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. I remember being here in Houston, and we did the Martin Luther King parade. She was campaigning for re-election, and we were going, after we finished the Martin Luther King parade, she said, come on, Attorney Crump, we're going to the 3rd Ward. And I said, well, okay, we got something planned in the 3rd Ward? She said, no, we're just going to see the people. And we were walking through, she gave me a microphone. I was like, okay, Congresswoman. And so, you know, we try lawyers, we quick on our feet. I said, Erica J., I said, Sheila Jackson Lee, she's for you, she's for me, she's for we. She said, Attorney General, say that again. And I want you all to say it with me because it's true. Sheila Jackson Lee, she's for you. Sheila Jackson Lee, she's for me. Sheila Jackson Lee, she's for we. And then the people in the 3rd Ward started getting a little beat to it. They said, Jackson Lee, she's for you. Jackson Lee, she's for me. Jackson Lee, she's for we. And I just saw how much she inspired our people to believe. And I would say, in conclusion, when George Floyd bill didn't pass, and I was disappointed, she told Shrina and Glenn, I don't know who else was on the call, she said that we just got to go out and we got to tell people that George Floyd blood is on this ballot in the 2020 presidential election. And we went to do Zooms with high school students who were 17 years old, who will be 18 by the time of the election, and 18-year-olds, and we talked about George Floyd blood is on the ballot. And she said, you got to understand, Attorney Crump, we can't lose this momentum. We can't lose this moment. She said that, you know, this video is going to motivate people all over America, but especially people in our community, to go out and vote. And it was because of that indomitable spirit that it was people standing in long lines in Atlanta, in Detroit, in Philadelphia, in Cleveland, in Minneapolis. I mean, people standing in long lines thinking about George Floyd, thinking about Breonna Taylor, thinking about Ahmaud Arbery, thinking about so many others. And she was so right, because it was that video that helped motivate our community to vote in record numbers till we were able to see the election of President Joseph R. Biden as the President of the United States. And when he became president, y'all remember I talked a little bit about that Juneteenth bill that she kept sponsoring all those years? When President Biden became elected with the blood on the ballot of George Floyd, she never let go of the fight, because we have to see the long game. It ain't gonna happen in a day. That's what made Sheila Jackson Lee so brilliant. And so, brothers and sisters, I tell you, there was nobody more prouder when President Biden signed the Juneteenth bill to make it a federal holiday, that Sheila Jackson Lee, leading a bipartisan Texas delegation, sponsored year after year after year. And I tell you, Sonia Massey, shot in the face saying, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Yeah, it's that video that's going to motivate us, just like George Floyd video did in 2020, to go out and vote and help elect the first woman to be president of the United States. That's what Sheila Jackson Lee legacy will be. Sheila Jackson Lee for you. Sheila Jackson Lee for me. Sheila Jackson Lee for we. God bless you, Sheila Jackson Lee.